So we're here today with Gail Jackson, who is the proprietor of the Negril Treehouse Resort here in Negril, Jamaica. And this is a great business. It's been here for a number of years, and we want to understand more about it. So, Gail, thank you for taking some time to talk with us today.
Okay, it's my pleasure.
Well, the first thing, you know, we've been enjoying staying here and conducting our research this week.
Okay.
So, I would first just ask you, how did Treehouse get started?
Treehouse got started by my late husband. It was a small restaurant, and it was his vision to build a hotel. We dated. I moved here in 1983 and helped him to complete the hotel. And we went in stages. You know, we kept getting our customer base, and learning as we went along. My background is not hospitality.
What's your background, by the way?
Civil engineering.
You're an engineer, like a lot of my students.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
And, you know, learning how to get from A to B in a straight line, and also exposure to travel.
Yeah.
And me being a customer.
Yeah. So when you first met Jimmy?
Right, Jimmy.
When you first met Jimmy, he had a restaurant here already?
A small restaurant. I came here, right.
And I understand he was like the godfather down here.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. So what happened? How did you go from that restaurant to the first, say, few rooms that you had?
Well, when I moved here, we got married, we had 14 rooms.
Okay.
He had the vision already, so he was building it up, and the rest is history in terms of working 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And me learning how to move from corporate America here. And knowing that I can play hard and work hard.
Yeah.
And it's pretty easy.
So you've been involved in this for a long time, and obviously with the civil engineering background, you could do anything. You can do a lot of different things. You don't have to do this, and this is hard, right?
It's fun.
Okay, so why?
It's fun.
I was gonna ask you why you do it.
It's fun. It's fun. Well, it's my livelihood. Number one.
Yeah.
Number two, I employ over 70 people.
Yeah.
I have a tremendous responsibility to them and their families. If I go, so do they.
Okay.
So, you know, and being involved in the community and knowing them and their families over the years.
Yeah. So in terms of your journey with this place, what would you say is the lowest low that you've had during your time here?
9/11. 9/11 and hurricanes. 9/11 just stopped travel totally, which stopped the income flowing. So that was a challenge.
How did you ride through that? How did you overcome that?
Just cut back.
Yeah.
Just cut back on staff.
Okay.
So that was probably the lowest. And major storms. One year we had several storms in 1 year. And when you have storms, it's hard to, you know, everybody remembers that in the news.
Well, last time I was here, I remember the water was lapping up to the restaurant here.
Right.
And so I can only imagine in a hurricane.
Oh yeah, this whole
like
bar was torn up.
Yeah. And so on the other side, what would you say was the highest high that you had?
Oh, when I changed up my marketing, and when I went to a luncheon and I, you know, got familiar with social media, and I was the #1 in sales for Living Social in Jamaica back in 2011.
Now, I don't know about Living Social. What is that?
Discounted stays. So basically my goal was to increase my customer base. You know, the traditional ways of travel agents and wholesalers just doesn't fit. I'm an independent, standalone facility.
Okay.
I'm not franchised, and I will never be. There's no need in me paying a fee for somebody to ride on my back. Sure, you get the reservations, but with Expedia, they're the biggest out there. So with Expedia as a partner, with Living Social, I've also done a small amount of group one also.
Okay. Okay. So in terms of the customers, is there a target customer that you are looking at to come here?
We love long-staying customers. This year, we've gotten a lot of people from Sweden and Russia. So that's a whole different customer base.
Now, is there a certain characters? Are they like certain age group, certain income level? You know, how would you
We're
describe?
kind of mid-range.
Yeah.
We're mid-range in terms of vacation experience. We don't have all the bells and whistles. But one thing we're EP, for me, means experience the people.
Okay.
And that's what I want people to do when they come to Jamaica. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not going to lock you up in a paradise prison.
One of the
You
big,
know.
one of the big resorts where you can be anywhere.
That's correct. That's correct. You know, to see the flair. We're in the middle of Negril's Beach, one of the top 10 beaches in the world. So,
Well, you know, that gets me to one of the things that we always try to stress with the students, and actually it's one of the hardest things for new students in entrepreneurship to grasp is, what is your value proposition? What do you do for somebody who's coming here to Treehouse as opposed to where else they might go? What's the key thing? You know, what's the big benefit that you provide?
well, breakfast, towels. I look at reviews a lot. I pay a service called Review Pro. And I can put in 4 different hotels that my competitors that I want to look at where we stand, where, you know, everything is based on reviews today. You go to Home Depot, what's your review? You go to Staples, what's your review? Everything is review based. So it's important for me to listen and to read what's going on. So I like to listen to my customers to make sure that I'm providing the right experience.
Yeah. So on an emotional level, getting to the intrinsic kinds of stuff, you know,
Okay.
what do you know, I know how I feel when I leave here, and you know, what result that has, you know, in my life going away.
Okay.
What do other people say?
Number one, I think, is the people. The people. My human resource is my biggest resource. Knowing that the same maid will be doing your room next year if you stay in that same block. Knowing that the same servers will be serving you again year after year. So I think that's one of my benefits.
Okay.
One of my assets is my staff.
Okay. That's what
They're
it-
natural. They're not programmed. They're individual folks.
Yeah, yeah. So getting on a more of a technical level, just for a minute,
Okay.
and this is the last piece I'm going to ask you about
Okay.
live. But in terms of, you know, every business has at least one revenue stream, hopefully multiple revenue streams.
Right.
What would you say are your revenue streams in this business?
Rooms.
Rooms, okay.
Rooms.
Okay.
Food and beverage. I added a new revenue stream, which is the front desk vending.
Okay.
So now we're able to capture people that don't want to come to the bar, but 24-hour. And I listened again. I saw somebody said, you can't get drinks at another property after a certain time.
Okay.
I can't get water.
Yeah.
And I'm a big water drinker.
You know what? I didn't even know about that. I would have been down there getting some water.
Yeah, it's right at the front desk when you check in.
Okay.
It's right there. That's a revenue stream. Retail space. We have 4 tenants. A retail space. I have a gift shop, the church, an
Oh, that's
office.
across the driveway there?
Yes,
Oh, I
and
didn't
the
know
church service every Sunday.
I didn't
So
know that
have
was
the
yours.
only air-conditioned church. Oh yes, so we have retail and also the water sports.
Okay.
The paddleboarding, the glass bottom boat, and the parasail.
Okay. Now, what about, I've had a couple of massages here. Are they
That's
tenants
also
as
my
well?
tenants, yes. They're my tenants as well.
Okay. So you got it
The
going on.
Fred, the fruit lady, the taxis are all my tenants.
Yeah.
And it's a very small fee they pay them because I don't want to make the whole pot. I want them to be able to have an income and to provide a service to my guests without me investing in it. I've also have another tenant. He had a boat business out of here, and I'm looking for another exciting tenant.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, I'm looking to do the first frozen yogurt in the grill
Oh,
on the beach. There's no ice cream on the beach.
okay.
So I approached a gentleman that's already in the business. So for me, I don't want to start a new business. I just want partnerships.
Yep,
partnerships without assigning together on the dotted line.
Yeah, yeah. You win, they win.
That's correct. And also another thing I've done, I instituted $5 fee to come in if you're outside guests.
Okay.
So my guests aren't overrun with outsiders, but also I'm getting revenue for my gate.
Yeah.
Because the chairs are expensive, the water's expensive.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Gail, I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us. I know you got a lot of things to take care of with all these employees here today.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to let us know, and I'm sure the students back in Michigan will enjoy hearing about Treehouse, and some of them may even come down.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I love ideas, new ideas.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks. Okay.
Thanks, Gail.
Thanks.